So as we're staying on top of what's going on in the Canadian real estate market, we're trying to take a look at what some of the drivers are behind the increases in prices. Not so we can just time the market, because really there is no timing of the market. You purchase a home when it makes sense for you, well, specifically when it comes to your primary residence. You purchase a home that's affordable and that makes sense for you, right? And you have a mortgage that is flexible, and you get this in you try to manage the right market, the right place, the right kind of house so that you can grow in that home. Maybe you do some renovations over time, but you don't necessarily need to sell it. But you get the flexibility of the mortgage, you get the house in a reasonable area, and you have it affordable, and you don't really have to worry about the ups and downs of the real estate market too much, unless it's a business, unless you're an investor, unless you're actually trying to make money off of your purchase, which you shouldn't necessarily be doing. But that's a topic for another day. So here, though, we're taking a look at what are one of the drivers of the real estate prices, and they're Sotheby's, one of the well, they're an auction house. They're like international auction house. I think that's what they're most well known for. But they also have real estate, real estate brokerage. And I think that that kind of goes in hand, because really, what are you doing when you go to buy a home? It's a kind of just like a blind auction in a sense, right? Anyways, so home renovations. Oh, I should read the title. Sotheby's home renovations impelling further price growth in cities. Home renovations are supporting short and long-term price gains across the country's major metropolitan real estate markets, according to Sotheby's International Realty, Canada. Long name. This will be further supported by accelerated renovation activity, with Sotheby's forecasted to rebound to $80 billion this year, on the wake of a 5.2% annual decline in 2020. What's actually interesting is, well, anecdotally, I was having, this is a conversation I had with, I guess we call it one of my colleagues, or one of my friends, also in the financial field, services field. But he's a really hands-on guy. He does a lot of renovations on his own, and he knows a lot of people in that field. And they were saying there's a shortage of, well, shortage of labor, and also a shortage of materials right now, because everything is in such high demand, and there's also just a shortage of these materials coming in. Also, the equipment required to do the renovations coming in, because a lot of stuff gets manufactured outside of the country, and bringing things over the border right now has been kind of a pain. So there's a lot of delays in in the construction. So I wonder what kind of effect that will have long term. Well, when I say long term, within the medium term, these terms don't really mean much much of anything without something being very specific in terms of a time period. But I mean within the next 2 years. I'm curious what kind of impact that will have. So the bulk of the activity of this activity will be in the enhancement. Oh, actually, so while luxury buyers typically prefer turnkey properties that are move-in ready and require no renovations, the pandemic has also driven high-end homeowners to enhance their living spaces with discretionary renovations to enrich their lifestyle and enable work, entertaining, and socializing. So that being said, and I think that's not just the case with people at the high end. Yeah, there's people that own their homes that are now working from home. So it was kind of a twofold thing, right? So some people have moved out from their condos to smaller cities, where they can actually buy a home, like a house, like be it a townhouse or a single family home, detached home. And yeah, it might not be set up for as an office. They might need to do some renovations um, to get it up to par, or up to the quality of life that they're expecting. And they'll have some extra cash to do that, right? So because you can purchase a home and get additional funds to do renovations, right? Purchase plus renovation mortgage. So the bulk of this activity will be in the enhancements of outdoor space by adding gardens, landscaping, patio, deck upgrades, outdoor kitchens, dining areas, waterfronts, docks, and other amenities. Interior renovations that homeowners will likely go for include kitchen upgrades, home offices. Yeah, I think that's a big one. Indoor theaters. Okay, well, I think that's probably a rich thing to do. And personal fitness wellness facilities. Again, I don't think that's most people. That definitely is on the wealthier end. Indoor theaters and the personal fitness wellness facilities. Home offices. I mean, you might get. I don't know what you would think. I don't know what they would classify as being a major renovation, but yeah, you might need to just redo the space a bit. Um, Maybe most of us just repaint a room uh, instead of actually doing a full-on renovation as an office. But yeah, kitchens and patio outdoor space because you want to be able to socialize and you really can't depend, especially with this new environment, this new normal, right? We can't really depend on the idea of going out to places to be able to enjoy life anymore. We may have to just have people over, be able to control our own space, and just kind of make happiness at home, as it were. This preference for customizations is being stimulated by the lack of luxury property inventory in Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver. Sotheby said. Who would have thought there would be such a high demand for luxury real estate in these areas? It really, I think, goes to show the widening gap in Canada between everybody, the rich and everybody else. There's a lot of people that didn't do too well last year. There's a lot of people that did very well actually, but there's also a lot of people that didn't do too well. They lost their jobs, they lost their income, they had to depend on government benefits, and it was a great thing that we had programs in place to help them manage that process. But also, there's a lot of people that just did phenomenally well, and they're able to purchase luxury real estate during a pandemic. I mean, good for them. Any dollar acquired honestly is just as good as any other, right? So, but it really is, I think, interesting, and because there's a lot of people coming into the country or trying to people that are first-time home buyers. They make good incomes. They just can't afford to buy a house, right? They make above average incomes, above average household incomes, but they still can't purchase a home in the areas that they're living. And yeah, I think that's something to keep in mind. I mean, really, what's going to happen to Toronto is probably, well, these main cities that we mentioned, Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver, is probably going to have some sort of New York-like effect. And I mean, we take a look at what's happening with New York right now. I mean, that place is falling apart. So, I mean, I'm hoping that's not going to happen anytime soon, but that place is a mess. Prospective home buyers are now more likely to be willing to purchase properties that require repairs and updates due to a lack of other options in their desired neighborhoods, Sotheby's noted. Others are purchasing luxurious move-in ready properties and renovating to meet bespoke personal preferences. While the renovations trend is largely driven by end users, market confidence is also motivating investment-minded buyers to purchase homes for renovation in anticipation of future resale at a higher price. I think we call that flipping. Yeah, so they're looking at, yeah, I mean, I went to an article the other day. He was talking about how the average home price in Barrie went up by like 100,000 in 3 months. So yeah, I mean, if you can buy a home, do some renovations, fix up the kitchen, do some minor renovations, and you have your house ready back on the market within 3 months, and that you can make $100,000. It's going to be worth $100,000 more than what you bought it for. I mean, I think there's a lot of incentive to get into that kind of practice. But yeah, it is interesting just to see what people are doing because I think it's easy to get into the mindset that everybody's kind of acting or thinking like you are. Um, but that's usually just not the case. Everybody is sees the market. They see either opportunity or obstacles, right? So, anyways, I think that's going to be it for today. Like, share, subscribe if you think it's worth discussing. I think it's worth discussing. I like talking about real estate and what potentially might happen. Most predictions are wrong, but it's always fun to, it's a fun sport to get into. Anyways, you have yourself a great day.